Here, here, here. This is the Mary Elizabeth Variety Hour.
Yes, yay, woo!
Part 2. Part 2.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been on a lot of shows lately.
Oh, so have I.
I've been on Gorgeous George. Has been, you know, and then you know what I've been, and then of course I've been on Keith's show, and I've been on Vinnie Mac's show. But the craziest thing is that there, because of my participation on a particular show, there are all these other shows that sprung up in contrast to some of the more controversial shows I've been on, and I try not to, you know, I kind of laugh at what at some of the comments made on there, and because these are all friends of mine, except for the people doing those shows who are my adversaries. But the craziest thing is that sometimes they'll mention things about me and you and friends of mine and stuff, and especially when they talk about me and you, they are always wrong. They always they I think a lot. I feel, you know, we try to do our homework on this show. We try to get a lot of things right.
Yeah.
But you know, they don't. Some people just, you know, assume. Some people will read the second page of a book and think they know the whole book.
Yeah, and they really don't. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
People who jump to conclusions are always wrong.
Yeah, they're full of crap.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
You can say that. Yeah, and thus, in fact, it reminds me a lot of the people who like talk about health and stuff like that. And I understand you've been experimenting with different types of milk.
Yes.
Because there's so many different milks out there.
Right. They got oat milk, almond milk, soy milk.
And then there's
some other milk.
then the cows get milk.
Yeah. The reason
The moo juice.
Yes. The reason why I want to talk about this is because I went to the grocery store yesterday, and they had this creamer called oat milk. And it's like a coffee. It's coffee cream, but it's called oat milk instead of the actual milk.
Yeah.
And it's really good. It's got fresh vanilla in it.
Yeah.
It's so good. I had it, twice this morning when I had 2 cups of coffee this morning.
You know what? I've actually tasted that oat milk, and you know what it tastes like when you drink oatmeal.
Yeah.
When you eat oatmeal and then you put that milk in oatmeal, and then you eat all the oatmeal and all that brown milk is left.
Right.
That's what it tastes like.
Yeah. Well, this one that I got recently is really good. It's like a sweetness kind of taste, like a sweetness taste.
Yeah.
And it's really, I recommend it. So.
Oat milk. There's also almond milk.
Almond milk?
I mean, you've had that.
Yes.
Almond milk was the first one, I think.
Right.
Or soy milk.
Yeah. So I think the soy milk is actually the first one I came out.
Yeah. Maybe so. Yeah.
That's organic.
So I'm not a milk guy.
Yeah. I love milk. So
I
always have.
I ate milk I drank milk as a kid.
Yeah.
But got to maybe when I was in my teens. What am I drinking this stuff?
Yeah,
Cows. The story goes that humans are the only animal that drinks milk after their babies.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad told me one time when I was a baby, he told me that I didn't like the process milk that you give to a baby. He told me that I like the regular milk.
You mean the breast milk?
No.
The formula milk.
Yeah, the formula.
Oh, when you were a baby, yeah.
You take the water, you put like powder and stuff in it.
Yeah.
And you like shake from the bottom.
Wait, were you like an infant?
Yeah, I was a baby. I was an infant.
Okay. So that's when you're an infant, you don't eat for like the first year. I think you're just drinking milk.
Yeah.
And usually from your mother or from a formula.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm so crazy is that I was breastfed.
Yeah. I was a breastfed.
Yeah.
I was given just regular milk.
Yeah. And I was and now I see it coming back. Almost everyone in my family has been breastfed.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a lot to ask of mothers because they have to kind of stay at home and can't work and always have to be at the service of their. I think it was I used to joke I was breastfed for 2 years.
Yeah.
And it was the best 2 years of my life. And then, but I have a kind of a love-hate relationship with milk. For one thing, this is awful.
Yeah.
We used to eat cereal all the time, like sugar frosted flakes and stuff. And my mom, we'd put milk in the cereal, and then what would happen is after we ate the delicious cereal, we didn't really want to drink the milk. So my dad would get really mad. And once, I think this is the last time this happened, probably when one of my sisters was probably 8. He took the milk and put it in a glass and put it in the refrigerator that my sister drank the milk from. And and then when she asked for a glass of milk, goes, "Hey, you didn't finish the milk in the cereal. Here's your milk." I don't want to drink that. This story gets worse. Then my mom said, "Oh, you kids don't remember the bad old days." I said, "What was the bad old days?" Dad used to take the milk from the cereal when you and your other sister were a little younger than the third sister, and just pour it right back into the damn carton. And we had to drink reconstituted cereal milk. After that, once I heard that story, even though I survived it because I didn't know I survived it, I proceeded never to put milk in my cereal again and just eat it out of the box like potato chips. And then if I wanted milk, I would take a glass of milk and just drink it. Take a handful, drink it. But milk, my dad has gotten into almond milk. So my dad's a real health nut, and we all are, and I am too. And what happened was he read that was good for us. I said, "Dad, I never saw you drink milk in the first place. Now you want to drink almond milk?" First off, let me tell you about me. I never really cared for milk at all, and as an adult, and then somebody said, "There's almond milk and there's oat milk and everything." I said, "I don't like milk. I don't care what it tastes just like the regular milk." I said, "I don't like the regular milk. I don't want to taste any of it. If it tasted like Coca-Cola, I would drink it, but it doesn't taste like it. It tastes like milk." So anyway, so I get the almond milk, and he likes it. So he says, "Next time you go to the store, buy some more almond milk." So then I realized that I must have bought it on like during the holidays or so there wasn't a lot of milk left. So I noticed that there was a better bunch of milk when I got the selection of milk the second time. So the milk was they had unsweetened milk, and like you said, like French vanilla or something.
I don't really care for unsweetened milk because I like milk that's like has a flavor.
Okay, well this is what happened. So I buy
I drink it, but I like some little flavor.
So I assumed that the unsweetened milk had no sugar in it, or had little sugar in it compared to the other milk that I bought the first time. So I bring home the unsweetened milk, and I don't think my dad even paid attention to the carton. So he started drinking it, and he hated it. He said, "That milk you bought last week was lousy." He goes, "You should have bought the milk you had before." And that's when I got on my high horse and said, "The milk I got last week had sugar in it. It was a sweetened milk, and now I thought I must have bought it by accident because I bought the unsweetened second time, thinking you would like that more because you seem to hate anything. You seem to hate anything that tastes good and love everything that's good for you." My dad would my dad would eat my dad would eat confetti out of the hole puncher at work if someone told him it was healthy for you.
That's nasty.
But he said he kind of relented, and he said, get the sweetened milk next time. Don't buy the unsweetened anymore." I said, "Okay, well, I mean, he's at the age now. He's in his 90s. He's at the age now that he deserves everything he puts in his mouth. It deserves to taste good. Life is, I don't know how many years you have left. How many years any of us have left? So we might as well start eating food that tastes good to us. We don't have to eat our our broccoli and spinach anymore.
Yeah.
Some people never eat that stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
I remember once my nephew asked me, "What's it like being an adult?" And I said, "I'll tell you what it's like. You get to read. you
Yeah.
get you get to eat candy all day when they tell you not to eat candy.
Right.
You
Right.
get to eat candy all day and watch cartoons all night." Because I wish I lived that life. And I said, grow up, stay single, get a job, get an apartment, and you will live that life. So anyway, eat. So I said, yeah. What's weird is a lot of people I know, they like I mentioned my dad. He's like the opposite. He's like the opposite. But a lot of people I know, they had to have healthy childhoods.
Yeah.
Their mother watched everything they ate, and then when they grew up, they ate just fast food and
Yeah.
drank sodas all the time, and they look it.
Yeah.
They'll have diabetes and all that trouble
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So maybe your parents know something know something that you didn't know.
Right.
That takes a
Right.
long time to realize.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always feel that really healthy food does taste good. It actually
Yeah.
tastes
Yeah.
tastes like it's good for you.
I love healthy food.
I remember eating once. I eat healthy, very healthy
Yeah.
food. But I remember I used to eat like cereal,
Mm.
and I tell you what it was. It's actually what's considered a healthy cereal. Product 19 Kellogg's,
Oh
and I
yeah.
was
That was back
tasting
in
it,
my kid when I was a kid.
but I was tasting it, and I could actually taste the chemicals in it.
Ew.
I mean, it didn't taste
Mm.
it didn't taste natural
Well,
to
see,
me.
we.
It tasted like a machine
Yeah.
made it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, back then we didn't really know any better. Because I just thought it was so good growing up.
Yeah.
But now years later, a processed food doesn't taste as good.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I have to check like bottles of stuff and see if it has any high fructose corn syrup in
Oh,
it.
you don't want that.
Oh my god.
And what the old joke is that if you look at the ingredients and you see
Yeah.
anything with 4 syllables,
Right. I mostly get
hydrocarbon, deoxy,
right.
fluoride.
Exactly.
I don't know. I just made that up.
Sometimes I get products that are like non-GMO. And all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And so I know people that won't eat gluten.
Oh.
And I said, and I know a little bit about that. They said, "Do you have celiac disease?" Goes, "No." I said, "Well, I don't think you have to worry about gluten." And then they said, "I don't eat gluten and I feel healthier, and I stave off celiac disease." I still don't even know what celiac disease
I don't know what
is.
it is. I've heard of it.
Evidently, it's
Don't know
rough
exactly what
stuff.
it is.
It's
Yeah.
rough stuff.
Yeah.
Now, but you know what? You know what I used to like when I was a kid? Little books,
Oh yeah.
children's
Oh, the
books.
golden books.
The
Yeah, with the
golden
golden
books. I remember the golden books. I remember
I used to have a bunch of those when I was a kid.
the pokey little puppy,
Oh yeah, I
the
had
little
that
engine
book.
that could,
I had that book too.
and the
I
seven
had pretty much.
Chinese brothers
I
and
don't think I had that one, but I know it had
that,
Spooky Little Puppy.
yeah,
And I think the Witch and that
Dr.
could.
Seuss, of course.
Yeah, I had some Dr. Seuss
Yeah.
as well too.
But did you know Shel Silverstein? He wrote Where the Sidewalk Ends.
Oh yeah.
Well, he wrote a lot of great children's books.
Yeah.
But Shel was a songwriter too,
Oh, okay.
and I have this album. It's really cool.
Cool.
It's called Old Dogs.
It's got a lot of people that I know in it.
Yeah, and it's two of them are gone now, but it's Waylon and Waylon Jennings, of course,
Oh yeah.
Mel Tillis, Bobby Bear, and Jerry Reed. Waylon and
Okay.
Jerry Reed aren't with us anymore.
Jerry Reed was on that show Alice.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
guess who else was on the show?
Who?
Desi Arnaz.
Desi Arnaz.
Yeah.
Desi. Oh, tell me about Desi Arnaz.
Yeah, it's hard to change the subject.
No,
But,
we'll get back.
Desi Arnaz was on Alice, and
Yeah.
there was an episode that he was on when he and his wife were like having problems or something because she thought that Alice had an affair with him. Remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that one.
And
I would watch anything with Desi Arnaz.
and she got so mad at Alice because she thought that her and him had an affair, but they really didn't. They were just being friendly and everything. But then all of a sudden they make up, and then at the end of the episode, she suspected that he had an affair with Alice I said he
Did
was.
Desi Arnaz produce the show?
No. I think some of
He
the
was just a guest
episodes.
star on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was a guest star.
because he came back in the I guess 70s
Yeah,
as an actor
late
and
70s, early 80s.
yeah, on talk shows.
Yep, because Alice was made back in the late 70s.
Yeah.
I think that particular episode was made around like 1979,
Yeah.
somewhere
I
in
I
there.
I think I mentioned once before that I watched one of the first Saturday Night Lives and he was the host of it
Oh yeah.
and he had all white hair and everyone said how old he'd gotten, but then I realized if you watch the rerun now on YouTube,
Yeah.
he doesn't look old at all. He just has white hair. He just refused to dye his hair
Oh
after a while.
yeah.
And but he was on talk shows and he was
Yeah.
on Letterman
Yeah.
and Carson and shows like
Yeah.
that. And he was he most people when they think of Desi Arnaz they remember
Yeah.
him from
Yeah.
the I Love
Yeah.
Lucy show
I think that's
or they
what
get
he
the
mostly
idea of what he
famous
was
for.
like.
Yeah.
But he was quite the band leader
Oh
and
yeah.
almost anything with Desi Arnaz you watch is good. There was a movie that was just made last year
Yeah.
with Javier Bardem
And
playing
Nicole
Desi Arnaz.
Kidman.
Nicole Kidman
I
played
haven't
Lucy.
seen the movie, but I like
I
to.
saw it.
And
I
I
saw
heard
it,
it was pretty good.
and it was good. You could get it on Amazon, I think,
Yeah.
and Amazon Prime. And he doesn't look like Desi Arnaz, the
Yeah.
actor who plays him, but he talks like him, and he acts like you would imagine it. The actor who played him won an Oscar once, Javier in No Country for Old Men, and he's a Spanish actor, and maybe he's from Spain, and of course Desi Arnaz is Cuban, and we get the idea what Cubans are like from Desi
Right.
Arnaz.
Right.
Desi Arnaz was just. I mean, I had this album of basically his greatest hits where he sings, Babalu and
Oh
the
yeah.
Cuban Pete, and he does a lot of other songs like La Cumbachero and the Peanut Bender,
Yeah.
famous Latin mambo songs,
Right.
and it's still good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still from the 1950s. It's
Right.
still kind of
Right.
timely.
Right.
You can still dance to it and
Exactly.
enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, even though I'm way after that time, but I love old music like that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I love music way back.
Yes,
I
yes.
like all kinds.
Well, Shel Silverstein,
Yes.
he wrote all the songs, and there's a picture of him. That's what he looked
All
like.
the back. Yeah. That's him.
He's the on the
Yes.
and he wrote a lot of really good songs. I didn't know he wrote when I heard them the first time
Yeah.
as a kid. He wrote The Unicorn.
Okay.
He wrote a lot of songs for Bobby Bear, and a lot of songs for Johnny Cash.
Oh,
He wrote A Boy
okay.
Named Sue.
Oh.
He wrote a lot of songs for Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. He wrote
Yeah.
Sylvia's Mother, and he wrote Cover of the Rolling Stone.
Oh, okay.
In fact, Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show, when I think Shel did his first solo album, his backup band, it was like they didn't make a big fuss about it. Was actually the real Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show,
Oh, yeah.
Dennis Correa or something,
Yeah.
the guy with the eye patch and stuff. And these songs are really good because they are these guys are old and they sing songs about growing old.
They kind of remind me of the Traveling Wilburys a little bit.
Yeah, they all sing them together, and
The same kind of concept.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so if you ever get your hands on anything by Shel singing or Shel
Yeah.
the songs he wrote, and this is a really there's actually two albums like this. There's 10 songs on each album, and there's 20 songs.
I think that's the
altogether.
volume 2 or something.
Volume 2, but each one is good.
Right.
And none of these songs he probably ever heard before. I mentioned Boy
Yeah.
Named Sue and The
Okay.
Unicorn, but they're not on there. They're
Oh,
really good, these songs.
okay.
And so that and so not a whole lot of Shel on television. He was once on the Johnny Cash show, which you can find on YouTube. You can put that in the
He does
comments.
the Johnny Cash show is really good.
Oh, the Johnny Cash show that was only on for 1 year on ABC, I think in
He had different
1969.
people on. He had Mama Cass Elliott.
Yeah,
Who else did he have?
and Ray Charles. He had all the country singers. He had like Marty Robbins. He had jazz people.
Oh yeah. Have you heard the
He had
singer?
Dennis Hopper, the actor, and he couldn't sing, but he sang a song written about him by Chris Cross called I forget what, but it's a song written for Dennis Hopper by Chris Cross, and he sings, and I'll remember and Yes.
she was a British singer, and she played on that Just Certain Club.
And she sang
And she sung the song from it.
sang one of the James Bond themes. I think
Yeah,
it was called.
yeah.
Lulu was married to one of the Bee Gees.
Oh yeah, I know.
And she was
I think
actually,
his
she was
name
from
was
Scottish. She was actually
yeah, I
Scottish.
think his name was Maurice Gibb or something she was married
Yeah.
to.
And Lulu was a very fine singer. When I was
Oh, I like her. She was cool.
she had a few hits in America, like The Sort of Love.
Yeah.
But when I was living in Ireland, she was still popular. And here,
Remember that one?
yeah.
And she also sung another song called I'm a tiger, I'm a tiger, I'm a tiger, I'm a tiger.
All those songs all those singers became really popular in the
Yeah,
mid '60s,
yeah,
late '60s as a result of the Beatles.
yeah.
The British invasion, they called it. And in fact,
Oh,
not only the British, they call it the Mersey invasion because the River Mersey
also
is where
the
Liverpool is.
the British invasion too.
There's a band called.
That's not a band. It's if you combine like British singers like the Beatles, Desi
Rolling
Arnaz Shel
Stone,
Silverstein,
Cliff
Rolling
Richard.
Stones, all them, they're considered the British invasion
1960s.
group. It's kind of like, British invasion is kind of like a political, group. It's not like a singing group, but it's like, groups that are like different British singers and groups and everything.
You know
Yeah.
there was always a rivalry between like the Kinks, the Who, and the
Yeah.
Rolling Stones.
Cilla Black.
Cilla Black from Liverpool.
Yeah.
There was the Beatles, of course. They were on the top. They were the top of the mountain. And then there was, but all the other bands I just mentioned, the Who, the Kinks, and the Rolling Stones, they always felt that if it weren't for the Beatles, they would have been the band that everyone would have loved. Rolling Stones kind of became that band after the Beatles broke up, but the Who and the Kinks always had to play catch up. They had their songs and their fans, but a lot of those guys had a lot of. The Beatles tended, because they weren't around together that long, 10 years or so, that they kind of steered clear of a lot of like deaths and stuff. The Rolling Stones, they had all those controversies with Keith Richards and Brian Jones, and the Who had Keith Moon dying suddenly, and then Cincinnati, the rampage that killed like 11 kids at a concert. Kinks, I don't really remember a whole lot about.
Well, the Kings are good.
They're good. They're good. Yeah.
Yeah, there was
But
a 80s song. That was maybe one of the early 80s
Come
songs.
Dancing.
Yeah, Come Dancing.
Yeah, that was like their
La
comeback
la
song.
la 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 la
Ray
la.
Davies and his
Yeah,
brother, Dave
yeah, yeah.
Davies. Dave Davies actually came to town a few years ago
Yeah,
to perform without the Kinks. I
yeah.
don't think the Kinks
I
are a
think the
band
reason
anymore.
why they call a lot of the British people the British invasion because I think it's like a political, legendary from
They're the mother country.
yeah, yeah. Just like we could call us the U.S. invasion.
I do know that I always wonder why.
But I do love British invasion music.
Yeah,
They,
in America, why we seem to
yeah,
hanker for the mother country. We're involved in. We love British culture. We love
yeah.
the like the
I
Downton
love
Abbey.
British culture.
We love the crown,
I have a lot of British blood in me,
the
so.
queen, the royal family, and
Yes,
everything. But then a friend of mine who's Mexican told me that in Mexico they feel the same about Spain.
yeah,
They want to know what Juan Carlos, the
right,
king, was doing for the time.
yeah,
They're always interested in Spain, Spanish culture.
yeah.
So yeah, I guess every country.
I,
I guess in Montreal they feel the same about France.
see, I have a lot of British in me anyway, so I love British stuff. And I also got other stuff mixed in me too. I got some English, Irish, German, Scottish, African, Spanish, Portuguese, Southern European, some American,
Oh yeah.
and some Swedish.
I'm Irish on my mother's side, father's side. That's about it.
Yeah. I'm mixed with different things.
Yeah. We're not a mixed. My family is pretty. Actually, my family's about as mixed as it gets, but it's really just two big,
Yes.
big pieces.
I think that's
Two 50% pieces.
I think that's one of the reasons why I can do a good British accent because I got a lot of British on here.
You're like Meryl Streep when you're British.
Yes.
You do a British accent in like almost all the shows we do.
Yeah.
We're doing Peter Pan, and we're
Yes.
doing I don't think you have a British accent in Wizard of Oz, but we're doing a Beatles show, and we had our first rehearsal today, and we sang all these Beatles songs, and we had one of a time.
Yes.
I think it's gonna be a great show.
Yes, it is. You can see it.
Yeah. And what song did you sing today?
That's
No, I sang that too.
me also know.
But what did you sing that was just for you? Oh,
I
hell.
had like 2 paragraphs.
Okay.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me?
That's a good way to end it.
Yeah.
Hope we don't have to pay for that. Because Beatles music is the most expensive music. We'll just say it's part of the show, and just tack on the bill to the show people that are putting on the show. It's called Let It Be, and it's going to be May. In June, okay. Buy your tickets now. We're all sells out. Hey, are you cold? I think it's too cold to do the rest of the show. I think we're at the end of the show anyway. So, Mary Elizabeth, thanks for having me on the show. I'll be back tomorrow.